Hey everybody, welcome to the Monday main event. Who are these guys?
Us? Who are we?
Yeah, it's not Barry and Donna.
It's definitely not Barry and Donna. I'm not Donna.
No. And we volunteered to step in this Monday because they're dealing with some personal stuff right now, and they're obviously in our prayers, and everybody else, please say a prayer for Barry and Donna this week. They're dealing with some stuff. So but we'll keep moving on with with the show, and we decided to cover a topic that's I think fairly simple for us.
It's our life.
It's our life. So we're gonna cover what we do on a day-to-day basis. So we're very excited for that. Definitely say hi in the comments, share it, do all that stuff, smash the likes, right?
It's been a long time since I've been on this end of one of these. Like, are we able to see the comments and stuff?
Oh yeah, okay. We can see the comments. Yeah, the comments are right there. Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, I'm gonna quickly even share this to my page. Maybe while we're doing this. Is that professional? Is that professional? I don't maybe know. It's not. I don't know. Maybe I won't.
Wayne and Gabby Hillier. Well, you guys see Wayne all the time, but yeah, like I said, I haven't been on one of these in a very long time. So those of you who don't know me, I'm Wayne's wife. I'm Gabby, and yeah, I'm here for tonight.
Yeah.
So do this.
Like we said, today's topic is going to be operating a creative real estate investing business.
Yes.
A lot of people are very interested in this.
Yes. Well, most people, I think, with the creative stuff, like just see it as kind of like doing one-off creative stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not necessarily like diving in and having it as your whole business.
Yeah. I get a lot of people reaching out to me and saying, like, how do here's what I want to do. I just want to wake up every day. I just want to look at everything. And I typically, historically, I tell them, maybe just focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Because if you're running around just looking at all these different things, you tend to not do very much.
Yeah.
And
hard to take action when you don't have focus.
It is. It's very hard to take action. However, if you're like me,
not many people are like you, Wayne.
I like to look at everything. I like to be known as a creative problem solver.
Yes. You don't have any problems taking action, though.
No, I don't.
So if you're somebody who is like Wayne, who loves to think creatively and who can take all these different things in and put them all together and figure it all out and then take action on it, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So today I came up with a series, a list of things that I think that are really important. If you want to become the type of investor that's full-time, you look at everything. You want to operate a creative real estate investing business, not a rent-own business, not an agreement for sale business, not a wholesaling business, not a buy and hold business, not a flipping business, but all of them simultaneously.
Kind of like juggling.
It is. I never learned how to juggle, but I'm sure that if I tried, I'd get really good at it. But yeah, I like it personally. I like the ability to, someone gives me a call and says, hey, I've got this property. What should I do? Yeah. And I like putting all the different creative combinations together. So, first step before you do anything is get education, right? Education is.
And if you want to be simultaneously doing all of these different things, I think that Rapid Cash would be a good place to start because they cover all of them, right?
Yes, absolutely. Rapid Cash, I think Donna just announced it here last Friday.
I'm not sure.
Last Friday, she announced it. If you go to barrymaguire.ca under products, I believe she started working on it. Again, I'm giving her giving
Some
her a bit of
space, yeah.
space, you know. But I do believe that she started putting it together. It was announced that the next Rapid Cash course is coming up on May 7th and 8th. It's in Calgary
Very
at
exciting.
the Clique Hotel, which is just right near the airport. So if you're flying in, you just fly in and then it's right there. You can stay at the hotel.
Yeah.
The event is in the hotel. So it's, you know what my favorite part about that is?
Beers?
It's the beers.
Really great networking after the event.
It is amazing networking afterwards.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, to be able to go and have a drink afterwards and to discuss what you learned and talk about the deals that you've been working on. And I've been going to every one of Barry and Donna's events ever since we first started.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I love more than like going down and having a beer afterwards. And it's like all of the really creative people.
Well, everybody's minds are like,
all the really creative people are like talking about all the cool deals they've done since the last course.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I did this and I put this together and I did this and I borrowed this money and then we refinanced it, pulled it out and did this.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun. And to this date, I still, every single time we do one of those events, I've always got a paper, like a sheet long of questions at the end of it. Even to this day, I've been doing it for years. And I think that I know everything. There's always new questions that I have afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
And even, you know, when people tell stories, I have new questions because of those new stories. So it never gets old. It just keeps developing. So if you want the education, that is the place to start
100%.
because it covers those 5 things that I talked about.
Yes.
Flipping, wholesaling, joint ventures, rent to own, agreement for sale.
You're getting good
Options.
at that. Options. Yeah.
Now that I know it's 5, it's very easy.
But it's 6 now.
Yeah. What's the largest deal? What is the largest property that I've done a creative deal on? Just residential.
Yes.
Nothing special, Cheryl. I wish I could tell you that it was
a big building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was just 270 units. And we converted all it into a church. Or normally it's churches that are converted into 200.
Let's not convert churches.
No. Oh yeah, definitely don't convert churches. Wow. Can we edit that out?
Back up. Just residential.
Well, I'm always hearing about these people that are like buying up these old churches or this old hostel and they turned it into this thing and then they had a commercial space down below. Wow, I misspoke. Can we edit that out?
No, we're live.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways,
okay.
nothing too crazy, Cheryl. Just residential properties.
Yes.
But you know, I love just maximizing the ROI and limiting the risk as much as possible. That's what I love doing.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what's the best way we can put this thing together. So education first. Yeah. Okay. That's
you won't be able to see an opportunity. What? You just made my day.
I just made Cheryl's day. Don't convert churches, okay?
Yes. Don't do that.
You know, want to know why it was on my mind? It's because we had an open house. We had an investor meetup in Edmonton yesterday, and we were speaking with someone, and they were talking about buying a lot and developing it, and they said there was a nunnery on there. Is it called a nunnery?
A nunnery, yeah.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah, a nunnery.
Okay. Trying not to defend anyone else. But there was a nunnery that was abandoned. And that's why it was on my mind. Okay.
All right. Good. Are we good there?
Just trying to get myself out of that hole that I created. As
I was going to say, you won't know that an opportunity exists unless you get the education.
100%.
So you need
Barry
to
says that all the time.
Does he?
You still in Barry's line?
I probably
You'll never
heard it from him.
recognize the opportunities if you don't when you understand the strategies, you'll recognize the opportunities.
Yes, 100%. So you have to start with education.
Yes. And yeah, seriously, come out to the Rapid Cash event on May 7th and 8th. We're going to be there and we'll buy you a beer.
Whoa.
Did I just, can we edit that one out too? Okay, I'm going to need a few creative deals before May.
Yeah. How many flips can we do before then?
Yeah. So next is what you want to do. What a terrific segue. You want to surround yourself with like-minded, creative individuals and investors.
Yeah.
Okay. So
other people who understand. I'm going to take over the most here.
Are you now?
Cheryl says, keep going, Wayne. Keep talking. Just keep talking.
It's funny. You know what? I get more nervous now that the camera's on me. So we talk every morning on our podcast. We have a morning show. We do at 6 a.m. Live every morning. And I got no problem talking. But the second I could see myself, suddenly I'm getting all nervous.
I know. That's why I was like, can we see, like, I wish I could see the other people.
Yeah. Or you can just let us know that you're here.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, absolutely. Let us know you're here. And this is an open discussion today. Okay. So I'm going to blabber lots and I'm going to say things that I didn't mean to say until you guys have some questions about, operating a creative real estate investing business. Yes. We got an hour to fill, people. So please throw me a lifeline. All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hey, there's Dawn. I was just talking about Dawn. Don't worry. I'm not telling details about your deal. just talking about the nunnery. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals. So obviously you guys are here, which is fantastic. Yes. You're here right now. You're talking. You're joining in live. This is pretty good considering the pandemic, right? And what? Don't look at me that way. This is pretty listening. Good. Yeah, you have to join in on groups and stuff. We're kind of limited to what we can do live, right? So, joining in different groups like this and surrounding yourself with creative investors and, joining in and asking questions is a great way to surround yourself with other creative people. Audit your circle. And if this is your circle, this is a pretty cool circle, if you ask me.
Very cool circle.
So this community is great, join and take the course, obviously, go to the workshop. Next is get started. If you want to be a creative real estate investor and you want to do it full time, stop talking about it and do it. Right?
Yeah.
Go out there and start answering.
Speaking of creative real estate, one of the things in creative real estate is flips. Yes. And I just saw Wayne's phone light up in the corner of my eye.
I got to turn my phone over.
You do need to turn it around.
We're very busy
but
today.
We just got a congrats, your flip is now sold text come through from our realtor. So cheers.
We just went unconditional on we sold our flip. I was rapidly signing the addendum there before we got started. And that is great news.
Yes.
That is great news.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. But you had your phone in front of me. I couldn't help it.
I knew I should have flipped that phone over. Well, it's flipped over now, so I won't get as distracted. Yeah. But thank you, Wendy, for the congratulations, and it's good to see you. Yes. And who else we got here? Leo says I started the day off with your podcast and ending it with your live webinar. That's amazing.
We're happy to be a part of your day, Leo.
Yes.
Christine Kavanaugh's here.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining in live. I'm going to try and make this as valuable as possible. And
we might want to get into it.
Okay. What was I talking about? Getting started. Getting started. So, hey, if you want to be a creative real estate investor, start getting on the phone. Start answering FSBO ads.
What else does Barry say? You got to take action to get started.
Oh, do your one damn deal.
Do your one damn deal.
Do I have a one damn deal banner?
I don't know, but I'm you have to. Banner. That's like the tagline.
Oh, I don't have a one damn deal banner.
But yeah, getting started, getting that one damn deal is so empowering. It all of a sudden just like opens the floodgates of the possibilities. It's like a confidence booster. You start out thinking, okay, I have this like binder full of documents and different things that can go right and go wrong. And I've gone through all the exercises and I attended the weekend course and now I'm scared poopless. Can I say that?
Oh, yeah.
I was.
No swearing. No swearing on Barry's show. We can swear on our morning show, but not on the evening main event.
Yes. And getting that
We're on
one.
thin ice, by the way, here. We gotta make a big,
Okay. But yeah, getting that first deal, that one damn deal is like the biggest confidence boost. And it just like, it opens up your eyes to the possibilities. All of a sudden you start looking at things differently. It's like, wow, I did it. I can do it. I'm a big shot. Yeah. And it starts with that first one. And just getting your feet wet. Getting out there.
I also think it's good. Don't take yourself how do I word that? Not to take yourself too seriously, but don't get afraid. Like if the first couple times you get on the phone or you go out and you meet someone at their house and you're stuttering like crazy and you're tripping over your words and they're asking you questions and you're like, oh God, where's my manual? Where's Barry and Donna's manual? I know it was in there somewhere. And then you're like, oh, I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm not 100% sure. You know what? It's everybody goes through it. I am actually a terrible stutterer when I'm nervous. I stutter like crazy.
You've gotten better.
I have gotten a lot better because I got my one damn deal.
Must have been that confidence from the one damn deal. Yes.
But like if you run into me, like if I'm in the mall and you run into me and you say hi, I'll start like I trip over my. You caught me off guard. I'm like I'm not. No, I'm dad right now. I'm not the real estate investor dad. It's normal is what I'm saying is in the beginning, just it's a learning curve. Get used to it.
The more you talk about it, though, the more conversations you have, the easier it'll get. So you've got to start having the conversations. You need to pass that growth barrier.
Yeah.
It'll be uncomfortable.
Yeah. And you know what? Get it all out of the way in the beginning. And then when you got a really good deal, an amazing deal, and you really, really want it to happen, you're ready.
Yeah.
As opposed to waiting until that amazing opportunity comes. And then you're stuttering and you don't know what to say and you don't know who to call. And you're like, oh, shit. Oh shoot!
Sorry.
Do
you have to go into timeout?
I think I gotta stop. Yeah, you're like, oh, I don't know how to fill out the paperwork, right? I remember that one. Remember the first time I went? So this was months after we took our first AFS course. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna book a bunch of free viewings. I'm going to meet with the sellers and I'm just going to talk with them.
Yeah.
Just going to practice talking and I'm going to practice my script and my pitch. And I came home and I'm like, Gab, they said yes. And I'm like,
get the manual.
Okay. That manual is way too small. So
I know.
Like Barry and Donna's manual is like 4 times 5. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's a few of those, yeah.
And so we're like trying to find the scripts and we're trying to find the contracts and how do I fill it out? Because like, it scared the poop out of me.
Yeah.
But Gabby and I, we went and we spent how many hours that night? Like it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I got it home and then I'm like, okay, we got to figure this out because I have to send it to them tomorrow. So we spent like an hour or two going through the manual, like frantically just trying to figure it out. And Cheryl says their manual is amazing. Yeah, they don't, you know what, you take one of their courses, their workshops, they barely even go through the manual.
Yeah, you hit like maybe 20 of the pages, just like go to this page and we're going to talk about this. But like, yeah, you don't even put a dent in it while you're at the course.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They'll like use it as a reference point for speaking.
Yeah.
And then for the most part, we're talking about different deals and how to fill things out and success stories and things like that. So even if you've been to one of the events and you never looked in the bag at the manual, go take a look at the manual. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How much information is in there. It's crazy. It's a tremendous resource. For years, it was my manual. I almost said Bible. It was my manual for anything that I needed. Like it was always my reference, right? Not so much anymore. I mean, we got to the point where we don't necessarily need it as much anymore. Yeah. But for years, like it was everything we needed was in there. So
pretty much any question you have, you could probably find the answer if you went through the manual.
Yes. We do have a question here about getting incorporated. Not quite
super relevant here.
Relevant to the topic today, but towards the end there, I might talk about maybe how, if we have time, we'll talk about perhaps whether it's worth getting incorporated for a creative real estate investing business. Okay, can I touch on it quick?
Sure.
Okay, 2 reasons why you get incorporated. One is limited liability, which in real estate, talk to a lawyer, doesn't really apply that much. Okay. The second reason is for tax reasons, and talk to an accountant. So that one there, we're going to forget about this one. Okay. We're going to talk about taxes. It is relevant for some creative strategies. Okay. if you're buying, talk to your accountant and figure out if it's right for you. Talk to your accountant and figure out if it's right for you. Let's say, for example, if you're a flipper or a wholesaler and you're clearing 300, 400K in wholesale and in flipping, plus you got a job where you make 100K or 50K, whatever it is, you're going to want to be strategic about which, like, you don't want all of that coming to your personal income, because you're going to be in some ridiculous tax bracket and you're going to get paying way too much in taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone that, like, for example, for flipping, if they make $150,000 a year and they're like, I want to also do flipping on the side, I tell them definitely start a corporation, put your flipping through the corp. Okay. You're only going to get hit with your 10% business tax. Okay. And then you can be strategic about paying yourself out in dividends or in income, or maybe just keeping it within the corporation and then reinvesting those funds into real estate. Okay. It's a significantly, that's a tax strategy. So, but that's not going to apply to everyone. If you're doing BRRRRs or if you're doing AFSs, talk to your accountant about it and let them know your plan. And then they will help you be strategic about that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. And an accountant who understands these creative methods, because most won't.
Yes, absolutely.
Because pretty much any accountant can understand a real estate transaction and a rental property and what you can claim and that sort of stuff, but not like a fraction of them are going to understand what an agreement for sale is and how to put that through and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to definitely ask on the on the page for recommendations of who
you surround yourself with people who are doing it. So you may as well ask who they're using.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put anyone's name out there right now, but if you DM me privately, I'll tell you, in our area who we use. And in your area, if you're looking for a recommendation, ask in the group, or send me a message and I can reach out to someone in that particular area who I trust and ask them.
Yes.
So yeah, for sure. I don't know who you are, mystery user. It's this Facebook user, but I now have 2 properties, 4 doors. I'd like to buy 1 more within 12 months from now. What are the pros, cons aside from not being sued? Okay. I should have read the rest of the question. If it's just rental properties, talk to your accountant. Obviously, Gabby, that tax filing costs are significantly more in a corporation. You are in a significantly higher bracket for taxes on rental income within a corporation as well. It's like 48% or something. It's bad. Oh, it's bad. Yeah. Is this news? Yeah, it's a bad tax bracket. But if you're at the point where you can't qualify for any more personal mortgages and you need to go to the commercial side and qualify for mortgages within a corporation, then it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, what did I say earlier?
Talk to your accountant.
What do we got here? Has some of that there? Who's drinking beer? Oh, this.
Trust your accountant.
Oh, this thing here.
If it's right for you, I think when you set that comment sheet.
Okay. All right.
So
keep those questions coming, okay, people? We got lots of things to talk about, but today I want to stay focused on operating a creative real estate investment. You know what? To be honest, that question was relevant.
Yeah, it was. It
was relevant. I'm glad we were able to touch on that because that's a very common question a lot of people have very early on.
Yeah.
Next is treating it like a business. The segues are just perfect today. Perfect.
Well, I think you did go in order, right?
Yeah, but it's just, just seems like everything's flowing really nicely. He's saying I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. Which is why we're here today, talking about operating a creative real estate investing business. You want to treat it like a business. If you're just, willy-nilly, all over the place, you're not going to be very successful, like anything, like any other business, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think on that topic, like, you don't, own several rental properties and not have systems in place on how you deal with them. I mean, like, when your mortgage renewals are coming up, when your tenant leases are coming up, you have a system on how you screen your tenants. You have a system on how you bookkeep those properties. So it's no different when we're talking creative strategies, right? You need to have systems in place, especially if you're dealing with a whole bunch of different methods, agreement for sale, rent to own, wholesale, joint venture, flipping, options. If you're doing all of these things, you even more so need to have systems in place.
Oh,
because
100%.
it gets chaotic.
100%.
Yeah.
Um,
So it is a business. You need to treat it as such, and you need to put those systems in place early on if you're going to be looking into adding a bunch of different methods of creative real estate investing to your portfolio.
yeah. I want to say something. Can I say something?
You may. Speak, Wayne.
I'm slightly offended by the amount of viewers today. Slightly offended. And you know what? I get it. Barry's great. But it seems like whenever Andrea's on, it's like, boom, 100 people are on. And like, we got 20 people. I don't know. You know what I want you guys to do? I want you to share comments, and I want you to, comment, like, and share it. Share it. Just do it for me. What I'm allowed to be competitive.
You're allowed to be offended.
And offended. I'm allowed to be a little competitive. I'm like, man, these numbers are low. What the heck's going on? Anyways, I'm about to take my shirt off. That's like, I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to the point where we're like, I really want to get these. Oh, I saw a heart come up. I literally saw a heart come up there as soon as I said that. I'm about to I'm about to go to great lengths. Okay, I want to impress Barry and Donna. If I'm going to take over the show, it's got to be good. Are you finding that? Okay, here, let's get a question going. Are you finding that you are getting more opportunities the farther into COVID we get? Interesting.
It's a great question.
It is. Personally, not so much. I have seen, we're in a funny time right now. Like, ask me 6 months ago, I probably would have said a different answer. But right now, it's kind of funny with the market the way that it is. I don't know. Things are weird. Calgary's like not so. Edmonton's like not far behind. I feel like all the Ontario and BC and East Coast investors are taking all their money and they're starting in Calgary and they're slowly making their way up north to Edmonton. I feel like this spring's gonna be nuts. And when things are hot, it's not so great for your wholesaling, flipping, kind of, but it just gets more competitive. It's more competitive.
Hard to find a good deal.
Which is it, it's real estate is cyclical. So you just need to know which strategies to use in which markets. As we continue to rise, I feel like there's more opportunities to solve homeowner problems. So like rent to own opportunities are going to start changing. Whereas, it hasn't been the greatest market for a while, but in a rising market, it's great for rent to own. So I'm going to personally do my research into the sustainability of this and how long it's going to last. But if it continues to grow, it would be a terrific time for rent owns. Agreement for sale opportunities are going to slowly start going away. So get in on that while it's still a thing.
I was going to say, if we're talking about agreement for sale, I think that we weren't personally looking for agreement for sale during COVID for opportunities to purchase by way of agreement for sale. So
we were busy.
Yes. But what I'm getting at is that I think that there was probably a really good opportunity to create some win-win situations when people were, losing jobs and not able to work and all those types of things. I'm sure that the AFS opportunities were abundant to be able to create win-win situations out of those. Personally, I mean, I wasn't out searching for them, so I don't know that for sure. But I really feel like had we been looking and implementing our strategies on how we find them, that we probably
100%
would have found a lot.
100%.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of coaching clients that I was helping with that, and they were seeing a lot of opportunities early in the pandemic. As it's getting later, I think things are starting to normalize. Like, shutdowns aren't as scary as they once were.
Not being taken as seriously.
Yeah. So things are starting to dry up for wholesalers right now. Wholesalers are having a lot of trouble because the more competitive the market is and the demand is for houses, the less likely that someone's going to be looking for a, calling a yellow sign. Flippers, it's getting a lot more competitive. I know in Calgary, they're really struggling. Finding a property when you gotta do full asking price or $2,000 over, it's difficult.
There's multiple offers, which isn't typical.
So us personally in Edmonton, we're having a lot of trouble finding properties to flip. Right now it's dry, but it is also January, so we're hoping that February and March things start changing.
Yes.
But there's always going to be opportunities. It's just what opportunities for that particular part of the cycle, right? Wendy asked, what is the appreciation now in Edmonton? We're not quite there yet. It's still pretty flat. It's still relatively flat.
Yeah.
It's just there's a big demand. It hasn't really affected appreciate. Well, you know what? I've seen articles in the last couple weeks. I don't know. Apparently it's gone up. Apparently it has. But we'll yeah. I'm not a market expert.
I was gonna say, if you don't know the answer, you can just say I don't know the answer.
Do you want me to just literally say I do not know the answer? I have not seen anything dramatic.
Yeah.
However, I have seen articles which I did not fact check them.
Yes.
Saying that we are up.
Yes.
And the average home price.
Yes.
Okay. Next. You know what? I think this is probably the most important one.
Let's hear it.
Get your partner on board.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be that your partner is amazing like Gabby and she's right in it with you. That's not always the case for everyone. Sometimes, even just having them on the same page as you.
Or understanding, just a general understanding so that they don't think you're crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because, you're probably planning some creative VTB/AFS on some multifamily and you're going to convert
creative
it into some, your creative combinations and your wife or husband's trying to figure out why you're pulling out all the savings out of that account to go put it on a down payment for this. And you try to explain it to them, just like you're so caught up in it and you're just like, okay, this one I'm going to do this and this is, and you know what? I'd be less concerned about, how they're going to react and more concerned about what they're not saying. And if you're operating a business and that's your business, you want to make sure that your spouse, your partner is comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. They're not stressing out about it. Yeah. Like early on, I know that Gabby was extremely stressed out about my.
Your what?
It's the right word. I'm trying not to incriminate myself. It seemed like I was crazy. You know what I mean? Just like, it's okay. We'll just pull this from over here and do this. And then it's okay. I'm going to add in this. I know agreement for sale is negative cash flow. It's okay. I'm going to combine it with rent to own to offset the negative cash flow. And I know we've never done a rent to own before. And you do this, I'll do this. We'll figure it out. And that's the mind of the creative entrepreneur or the creative real estate investor. Mm-hmm. Is that we'll figure it out. I'm not gonna let my fear get in the way of it. But if your partner isn't on board with that, that can really put a lot of strain on a marriage or a partnership.
A lot of creative deals also take a lot of time and grind to make them happen. Like especially
tears
out searching for like agreement for sales. Like until you really establish a good method on finding them and building trust and securing those. It's an actual grind. It's hard. It's a lot of work. And, so like, I remember early on when you were, just starting to really try to search for them, mm-hmm. you would be gone for weekends and evenings and, just like out talking and talking and talking. So
that's what I needed to do in order to stay on track. Right.
Yeah.
I needed to fully commit to the campaign. Otherwise, if you just kind of do it passively and you don't treat it like a business, it's easy to when the phone rings and it's dinner time to not answer it. Mm-hmm. And that's an opportunity. You should be answering. You should be answering it within the first 2 rings. And if they say they got something, or whether an investor's got a deal that they need help with, or there's a seller that called one of your signs or your ads, you need to go drop everything and go take care of that right away, because that opportunity will come and go very quickly.
Yeah. They'll call the next sign or the next page on Google.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Especially if they're calling, your thing on Google or Kijiji or your Facebook ad, you're probably not the only one that they called.
Yeah.
And if you say, I can go see it tomorrow, and they're just sitting and waiting, they're probably going to go and talk to 4 other people. And one of those 4 other people are probably going to go down there and drive there, and you're going to miss that opportunity. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do a full U-turn and go back to what I said originally. You got to make sure your partner's on board with that, because you're leaving dinner, you're leaving your kid. You said that you were going to go and tuck them in. You said you're going to help them with their homework. Your family's got to be on board with that, and they need to have a good understanding of what it is that you're doing and why it is that you're doing, so that that reactive lifestyle doesn't affect the things that ultimately you care about the most.
Yeah, definitely. It's and maybe that's a consideration to make, is what creative methods or what methods of real estate investing in general complement your life. Right?
Yes, that's 100%.
Yeah. I wouldn't let Wayne go and become a wholesaler.
Oh God, no. And those days,
not to say that we don't wholesale deals that don't work for us. We do.
True.
We do that often, but we're not out.
We make quite a bit of money wholesaling, but we're not active wholesalers.
Yeah.
This is all about having a creative business, is what we want to talk about today. Is that, I'm not campaigning, but I have a tremendous network.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see opportunities and I know everyone and I have all the puzzle pieces, I can put pieces together, which I'm going to kind of get into a little bit afterwards about what like a typical day kind of looks like.
Okay.
And if you have questions about that, please put them down in the comments, and share the show, because my pride, my ego
hurt
about the followers, the listeners.
I don't care.
Today.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, and thanks for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to.
I know that there's other things you prefer to be doing on a Monday evening, so I appreciate it, darling. Okay, I was talking about next one is build your network.
We just talked about that.
Yeah.
What a lovely transition.
Yes, absolutely. So what you want to basically know everybody in the industry. Okay. When you find an opportunity, whether that be someone that called your ad or went to your website and filled in an application, or perhaps a new investor's got this deal and they really need help and they know that you're the expert. So, they called you to kind of help you put it together, and do you know anyone that would be able to do something like this? And then that person over there that could be a great complement to that. And a lot of times you can, you could profit from things like that, right? Mm-hmm. You can profit from putting people together. Wholetail, wholesale, all those types of things.
What's wholetail?
I never remember.
Okay, sorry.
Someone's told me
it's a cool word.
Wholetail, people have told me what wholetailing is, probably 12 million times, and I always forget. And whenever they say it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And then I completely.
Okay, I apologize.
Please don't embarrass me.
Maybe we'd have more viewers. Sorry. What are you doing?
I'm Googling wholetail. This is really bothering me. Unless someone can, again, throw me another lifeline in the comments there. Wholetail. Wholetail real estate investing is a combination of wholesaling and a full fix and flip rehab. You buy a property at a discount as if you were wholesaling, but then you put the property under contract and fix it up just until it's good enough to be sold in the MLS.
Is that not flipping? Sounds like flipping to me.
Yeah, I never really quite understood it. It never really applied to our business, so that's why I always forget every single time. Okay. But just being a solution provider, a problem solver, the person that people come to, and then charging for your services, right? If someone's going to be getting a $30,000 wholesale fee on a deal, and you're able to help them put it together, you can ask for a chunk of that. Mm-hmm. Because maybe they had this amazing deal and they packaged it up nicely, and you knew someone that would be looking for something like that, and you got that person on board and put them together. Yeah, of course, you're going to get paid for something like that. Maybe you get half of that $30,000, right?
Yeah. I just put it together too. And then Dawn, so it said that putting just enough work into it to put it on the MLS. So if it was in really bad shape, and there's no way that it would sell on the MLS, or you know what I mean? It's not MLS worthy. You'd get it, you'd lipstick it, fix it up a little bit until it's at that entry level price. So
I always get wholetail and bird dog mixed up.
Gotcha.
Don't ask me what bird dog is.
Stop saying terms.
Yeah. I always mix them up. I'm not a wholesaler, so I never really applied to me. what you're trying to do with your network is you want to, as I was saying, you want opportunities to come to you. Okay.
Yes.
You want to just sit in your chair all day and just wait for the phone to ring.
That's what you want. Wait
right?
for the email.
Yeah. And sometimes that involves some sort of branding, right? Maybe you get on a couple podcasts and talk about something that you do, something you're known for. Maybe it's doing videos on Facebook Live. Just becoming an expert in something and being known as the person that's, that solves problems. Mm-hmm. And just having a really good, strong network of knowing everyone and knowing who to call for different things.
Yeah.
Network is your net worth. Pretty cliche. Everyone says it, but it's true. It's true. Yeah. It's absolutely 100% true.
Yeah. Throughout the last several years, people always ask us, how do you find your deals? And where are you finding these people who are willing to sell you these things by this way? And it's funny because the answer is always.
Oh, you're asking. They just literally show up on my desk.
Fall on our laps.
They just fall on our laps. Just being known as the experts is which is my next thing, is that being known as a solution provider.
Yes.
A problem solver.
Yeah. So we have friends who say, hey, my buddy has been trying to sell his house and, it's been on the market forever and he needs to get rid of it and he can't. Is there anything you can do? Maybe you want to buy it as a rental property? And boom, there's your next AFS.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah. Messages every single day. So become known as that type of person that people can trust, that people will come to for answers, and opportunities will come to you all the time. And whether that's something that you can just help them with, and then they share with other people. Then next time a conversation's happening at a networking event or in a group, and someone's saying, "Hey, I need a solution to this. Anyone know?" And they'll say, "Well, Gabby actually helped me on a deal that I did last month, and she's the person to reach out to."
Yeah.
Right. And don't necessarily take advantage of people just because they have an opportunity. Be helpful. Here's the thing. And here is one banner that I should definitely have.
Win-win.
Win-win. It's all about win-win. This is what Barry and Donna teach all the time, is be a solution provider. And I do not have a win-win banner.
What is wrong with you?
Normally I'm producing and I can do it really quickly, but when I'm chatting the whole time, it's a little difficult. Okay. But what you want is you want to make it win-win.
Yes.
Okay. Don't take advantage of people.
No, never.
Okay. Be a solution provider. And if you can find a way that you can benefit from it, they can benefit from it, they can benefit from it, then absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Make it win-win. Don't take advantage of people. Be good. I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but being a solution provider is all about just being really good at puzzles.
Yeah, putting the pieces together.
Right. You got your network of people. So you got lots of people, and people are resources, right? Knowing lots of people is a way to be resourceful, right? You've got your arsenal of strategies and tools that you've taken all
educated on.
That you've been educated on, right? You've taken Barry and Donna's courses. You surrounded yourself with people. You understand how to use it. You've done it before, right? You got the experience. And then it's just a matter of just putting the pieces together, right? When you see an opportunity and you know that a tool could work with that, and a person who would benefit from that or who could complement that, put the pieces together and find a way to make it profitable for everyone. Mm-hmm. Profitable in a monetary sense, or profitable in just an opportunity, an opportunity for someone to get out of a situation.
Yes.
That's valuable to them. Right. That's pretty much what a normal day is for us, right?
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, well, let's talk about it now. What's a normal day look like for us?
I mean, the day-to-day is very dependent on what creative strategy we have on the go, but we have very normal days. Wayne and I are both full-time real estate investors, so we both work from home. We have a daughter who goes to school. So,
Yeah.
like we start the day early off with our podcast, and I get Everly ready for school and breakfast and all that kind of stuff. And then
while you're doing that, I'm probably still down here normally for the first couple hours after the podcast. I'm just responding to emails and going through my calendar, trying to map out my day. I got, you can kind of see in the corner over here, I got about 6 of these things, and just for
all the different,
for coaching, and I've got some for, this business. I got one for this business. I've got my daily one that I fill. So I've always got notebooks just for different things. So I can always just go grab a particular book when someone calls, or grab a particular book when I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing for the day. So which kind of leads me to my next thing, which I kind of will go back to what our normal day is. I forgot one thing, is staying organized.
Yes.
And everyone has their own way of staying organized, right? Some people use CRM, some people use spreadsheets, some people use their notes in their iPhone. Some people use notebooks, right? I'm a notebook guy personally. I like to just write things down. I like to take notes. I like to have my daily book. I like to keep track of people that I have calls with. I also, I record it all in. I have different files and in our shared folder, so we can access them really quickly. But sometimes when, I don't necessarily have time to pull it up, I'll just quickly make notes. So stay organized, because in this business, you're going to be dealing with a lot of people calling you randomly, these different opportunities. And sometimes they turn into something, they come to fruition quickly. Sometimes they don't for months, right? So you want to make sure that you have notes, even putting notes in someone's contact information in your phone, right? So when they call and like, hey, remember that thing I talked to you about 7 months ago? I've had 200 of those things since, it's so you don't want to, you want to be professional, and you want to be known as that person that's going to solve their problem. So if you're like, remind me again, what was that again? Where do you live? You want to make sure. Who are you? Yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes people reach out to you through Messenger or Instagram, and you've never met them before. Maybe you met them once at some event. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row for when they call you. You want to be known as that person, and you also want to remember them, because if you don't remember them, they're going to take offense to that. So, this network's a really big thing, right?
Yes.
And you're trying to maintain relationships and conversations and faces is so much harder when you only see people like this at events these days. You're trying to remember their eyes or their voice, or hey, we talked for a few minutes on Facebook Messenger there a few months ago, and they got that little avatar of them in a boat
with their back turned
with their back turned. So take lots and lots and lots of different notes, however you capture notes, and however way you want to keep things organized. It's extremely valuable. Okay. Yes. Okay. We're on the topic of organizing. So Christine asked here, and how do you organize your banking? Do you have a main mortgage account or one for every property? Well, one for every property, right?
No, it depends. So I think, Christine, what you're asking is that the mortgage payments come out of. So one account,
like a bank account.
Yeah, one bank account that you have all of your stuff come out of. And so, I mean, everything that Wayne and I own on our own personally, yes, we just keep one main bank account and have all of our personal stuff. It's easy. It's easy enough for us to track. She says yes to confirm. But like when we're talking creative stuff, like for agreement for sales and stuff, we do have individual bank accounts for those, because we have all these different people's payments coming in and out of those accounts and that sort of thing. So we definitely keep them individual. So it just really. Did
you say joint ventures? Sorry, I was reading something else.
I said agreement for sales, but that as well. Joint ventures, our different joint venture partners are going to have different accounts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they want to be able to, with a lot of our joint ventures, they want to be able to see the accounts.
Yeah.
They have the right to. They can check to make sure we haven't drained the accounts. And
and most or all of the time in our situation, they're on the mortgage, right? So they want to be sure that, the payments aren't being missed and those types of things, that there's always money in the account. So if somebody has access that's not, you individually to that account, you want it to be separate from, well, mind you, I don't think a bank would give a whole bunch of people access to one single account.
True.
So you kind of have to separate them if you're giving your partners access to the accounts as well.
Yeah, when you're dealing with a creative real estate investing business, it's, organization is super super important. So Gabby's just talking about bank accounts right now, but obviously there's spreadsheets as well that go with it, right? So if, say for example, properties that we own solely and they're all in one particular account, we have a spreadsheet that indicates what our reserve fund is at and what the payments are, because right now it could be $30,000 or $40,000 just in that account. And we don't know how much we have in reserve, and if there's a vacancy, is it going to deplete?
Each property still has its own bookkeeping
Yeah.
to tell you where it's at. And if you're doing your job right, or if you're outsourcing it correctly, all of your bookkeeping will equate to the bulk amount that's in the account.
Exactly.
This property has this much, this one has this much, it all equals this, and that's what's in the account.
Exactly. So that was organization, but back to, was there another question here?
A comment. Yeah. So I'm not sure who this is. It just says Facebook user on our end, but it says, I originally had one, but it's nice to separate, especially when I went into multi. So each apartment has its own bank account. It's easier to see the profits. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. It can be a little intimidating sometimes, like
having a bunch of bank accounts. Yeah, it can be hard to manage, and especially like when we were starting out with agreement for sales, and starting to obtain a bunch of them, we were seeking like cheap bank accounts.
We didn't want to pay $14
we didn't want to
for
be
an account.
paying $15 per account per property. We want to keep it low, so we were seeking out the cheapest ones, free accounts and that sort of thing. But then sometimes they cap you out and be like, okay, what are you doing? Why do you have so many accounts, so many individual free accounts? And then it's like, okay, hop over to the next bank and start opening accounts there. So so that's part of the staying organized, though. It's like that's not a super ideal way, but it's how we got started, right?
And so I'm in my office and Gabby's in her office, so I'm in the basement and she's upstairs, and I'm coming upstairs because I've got something in motion, and I'm like, okay, Gabby, tell me what's going on with where is this account at? And she's got to go and find in her spreadsheet, like which bank account that is. Is it with Simply or was it with ATB?
No, I know exactly which every property.
I'm
what bank
impressed
account
because I would never be able to do that.
But what Wayne will do is he'll come and he'll ask me like, what's this reserve fund at, or what's the total of this bank account? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
you don't know?
No, I don't know that. I know which properties go where, but the bank account totals, nope.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And a creative real estate investing business is significantly different than a real estate investing business.
Yes.
Real estate investing business is very simple. It's like I have got my 5 suited houses, or I've got my 4 multi-family buildings. It's or 12 or 20. I got 100 single family homes. Very simple. You can kind of keep things a lot more. When you're dealing with flips and you're dealing with wholesales and agreement for sales and joint ventures, and we're out there on the mortgage, and somewhere you're on the mortgage, and just all these different things.
They're all individual businesses.
Absolutely.
All the different methods are all individual businesses that need to be handled in different ways. So that's where the organization and the systems come into play. Who is that?
Oh,
I want to know who you are. Who are you, Facebook user?
You have no idea. You have no idea how lucky I am. I've said many a times that I get scared when Gabby drives in bad weather. Not just because, she's gonna.
How am I gonna manage all these properties? What about how much you're gonna miss me?
100%. Like, it's everything. I'm losing everything. I'm losing the love of my life, my partner. But I'm also like, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. But if I die, it's totally fine, right?
I could just take over.
She can just take over. It's totally cool. So if you're able to get your partner on board and you guys complement each other really well, and you're able to work together all day, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, Wayne and I are completely different people. So I am more comfortable, behind the desk doing task-driven stuff and just like knocking off the checklists and making sure everything's organized, where Wayne's a dreamer who needs to put all these crazy ideas together and make it all happen. But that's why we love creative real estate, because Wayne does have the mind to figure out how to make stuff work and how to put different things together.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
Yeah.
You were complimenting me. I shouldn't have distracted you.
Yeah. I actually
Keep
don't
going.
even really
Keep
know what
going.
I was saying. But yeah, he can put all that stuff together, and then I can just like pick up the pieces and like actually put it into action and make it work.
Mhm.
So we're opposites, and it complements each other, and it works. It's not easy by any means. Sometimes I need to tell him to like pump the brakes because like it's just too much. I say that a lot. I'm like, there's just too much. There's too much going on.
Well, even with everything that we have going on, we are still incredibly focused on what we're doing.
Yeah,
making sure that we're only focusing on a couple things at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, you may have a couple projects going on. You got your 4, binders sitting there, and you're working all these different things, and you get a call, and you have to say no.
Mm-hmm.
If you got too much going on, you got to make sure that you're focusing on what's most important.
Yeah.
I mean, what we were talking about a minute ago was about our routine. And I think having a routine is extremely important so that you're able to fill in the gaps within your routine. But your routine is the thing that's most important, which is, staying healthy, eating well, taking care of your family, dinner at night. You know what I mean? Like just making sure that all the core things that are most important to you are there, and they're planted, and they're in the calendar, they're in the schedule, and then you can fill in the holes, whatever you have time to do.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the time to do it, and there's no slots available in the calendar, don't do it, or schedule it for another day. And if you miss out on the opportunity, it's not a big deal.
I also find with us, because we are in all of the different methods, we have a lot of different things going on, that day by day, it's like kind of prioritizing literally what is the most important.
Yeah.
It's like if there's a regular like buy and hold that we're purchasing, but then there's also like a house that we're selling by way of agreement for sale, and the flip is, getting ready to go on the market, and like whatever, like there's all these different things. You need to stop and ask yourself, like, what needs to be dealt with today and what can wait.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you have people waiting on you for something, it can be a lot to be juggling all these different things. But if you have the systems and you know how to prioritize and all that kind of stuff, you can kind of bring it all together and just decide what goes on the to-do list for today.
Yeah. And communication is really important too.
Yeah.
Right. And so what I was going to get at was that, our day, we start off with the podcast, we get the kid ready for school. I kind of figure out my day. Gabby, then, we prep breakfast, we have breakfast together, and then we get ready. And then, the day starts around 9-10 o'clock. And then we're good for about maybe 5 hours on average before the kid comes home.
Yeah.
I still continue to work for a few more hours. I'm always kind of working. I mean, this thing's always going. But I balance it really well. And if I need to, that's why I like working down here, because I can stay down here. Everybody knows that if Dad's downstairs, he's working. But then if I come upstairs, I'll leave my phone down here. Mm-hmm. And then I give myself the permission to not be distracted and to spend time with the family. And that's my routine. It works really well for me. And for you clock out right at 3 o'clock, and that's it. And just turns it off. Turn it off
with my time.
And that works for us, and figure out something, a way that works for you. And that's just the routine that really works for us. But what was I saying here? I lost my train of thought, but make sure you got that good solid routine in place in that schedule. Early on, I get it. Like, you're going to have to drop a lot of things to create opportunities. Okay. We've gotten to the point now where it's
a grind in the beginning. Like, you need to put the
yes.
systems in place. You need to figure out how to do these things. It takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But once those are in place and like you've figured it out and you have things falling on your lap, then you can step back and
you can take and choose when to say yes and when to say no.
Yeah.
Right. Early on, there are a lot of sacrifices that you need to make. You need to be dedicated to the cause. Early on, the most important thing, the work-life balance. Yeah, I see that comment. The work-life balance is so important. It doesn't exist in the beginning, though. That's the thing. Yeah. Something's always going to give. It's either going to be, your future, which is, your business. It's going to be your job, or it's going to be your family, it's just terrible. I've tried for years trying to figure out that solution. And there's not enough hours in the day. So you make decisions every day as to what is most important at that particular day, and you live with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if providing a better life and a future is important to you, then just know that there are some things that are going to lack. And hopefully everyone in your family is on the same page. In the beginning, you have to do it. And the common goal early on that you're trying to obtain is to build up enough cash flow to cover your expenses so that you can provide yourself and your family with the freedom to be able to make the decisions like we do on a regular basis now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that luxury when you're starting out and you still have a job and your kids are in school, right? You have to choose what are you taking from? Are you taking from hours at work? Are you hustling deals at work, in the bathroom? Or are you staying in your car for 3 hours after you're done work and ignoring your family? Or are you getting up from dinner and leaving really quickly because there's a wholesale deal where you can make $30,000? Guys, it's $30,000. I have to leave. I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to put her to bed. I know. I got to go. So early on, you kind of have to make those sacrifices, unfortunately. But you know what? Find a good balance. Have a good understanding with your family as to why you're doing it. Try and get it done as quickly as possible. Work really, 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 really hard and get it done quickly to give yourself enough passive income so you don't have to worry about your job. As soon as you can get rid of your job, suddenly a whole lot of time frees up, right?
Yeah.
Job takes a lot of hours out of the day. It takes a lot of energy out of the day as well. So if you can eliminate that quickly and create passive income, then it's just your business, your creative real estate investing business, and your family. Gives you a little more freedom, right? For us, 5 hours a day. We got it locked down. God works from 10 until 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I work from 8 o'clock until 8 o'clock. But we've got a good routine, or just everybody knows it. And Dad's downstairs, he's working. Yeah. And when I come upstairs, I grace the family with my presence. But I leave my phone downstairs and I don't bring it up. I don't bring that upstairs with me. There's a level of separation. It's very similar to like if Dad goes to work, you don't have access to Dad or Mom when they're at work. Yeah. So create that separate space. And maybe that means that maybe it's not a basement office. It's a co-working space. Maybe you got to pay a couple $100 a month to go and work at a co-working office, right? Yeah. So you can create that separation, because if you're in the living room on your phone and hustling and your kids are trying to get your attention,
not good.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. We've hit just about an hour.
Yeah.
We do have a couple comments here. I'm just going to go through those and then we'll wrap it up. That's a day in the life of a creative real estate investing business. I mean, it's everybody thinks it's super fancy and high rises and Lear jets and stuff, but
depends what you want and how
depends
hard you
what
work.
you want, right? And most of us, most people that I talk to, most of us, all we want
a nice, comfortable life,
freedom.
Yeah,
freedom to do the things that we want to do. And if you want to go and dress up in suits and Lear jets and stuff like that, then work hard and
go get it
and go get it to provide that freedom to do the things that you want to do. But I'm 90% of the people that I talk to are parents. They're in their 30s and 40s, and all they want is to not have to go to work every day and choose to when they want to do the stuff that they want to do.
Yeah.
Which is us, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. This other comment was a question.
You talked about first you need to get the cash flow to be able to leave the job.
Yes, it doesn't work. That's why you're not providing who you are. This mystery Facebook user. You just don't want your employer to see it. You're hustling deals at work. We all do it. You know what? In my opinion on that, I used to get criticized a lot at work. In my downtime. Oh, he's just doing deals on his phone. And I'd say, like, you guys are just playing Clash of Clans. You're literally playing against each other. You guys are using your free time to play stupid war games. I'm the one that's building something for myself, right? It's Lena. All right, Lena, I'll share this on my page and tag your employer. So if you're curious, what you need to do, you need to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and just verify your account, and then it'll show your name in your picture. But yeah, it's what was how to get that cash flow. You know what? You got to get creative.
Lots of different ways.
Lots of different ways. Again, start with the number one thing we talked about earlier is education. Education. The second or third one was get started. Just get off your keister.
Sister.
and just get started. Go out there and start talking to people. Don't be afraid to mess up and trip over your tongue and embarrass yourself and get it all out of the way. And then you get that one damn deal, and you're going to get that confidence, and you get that one damn deal. That's what there was a really, really, really good marketing tagline that they came up with.
Yeah. Get
that one damn deal, and suddenly all the other deals just get so much easier.
Yeah.
You see someone get a deal, and then bam, suddenly they're an expert, because there was normally something that was just in the way. It was confidence. It was sometimes just going through the process, not knowing about how to fill out the paperwork. I had someone reach out to me today. It's like, hey, I know you know all about the paperwork. How do I do this? Like, I haven't looked at the course since December of 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. You got to go back. And once you do it once, you become an expert in it. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Yes. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for joining us.
And if you guys have any other questions about operating a creative real estate investing business, you can DM myself or Gabby, and we gladly answer those questions for you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Have a great night.